Hey guys, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, let me just get started while other people's. Hello, Lucky Now Dreads. How are you? How are you? And welcome to the stream. So today I want to get into forex trading, but yeah, I'm not very good at it, and I've been losing money every time I've tried. So I thought maybe it would be fun to just do it while live, while blending. But today we're going to be making, well, where is my Pinterest? Yeah, I've always seen these renders on Instagram and Twitter, and I thought we could try something like this and see how that goes. Let me see, do I have enough room? I don't want that. Yeah, we're going to be doing some forex trading while basically trading. I haven't even decided what I should be trading. So, and you know what? Let me try using Gemini to predict this trade, because I'm not very good at analyzing these trades, and I'm not even used to these charts. So this is not by any chance trading advice. How is this? Hello, nice reference. Thank you. Your voice is very nice and very attractive. Thank you, Lucky Now. Thank you. Anyway, so I'm going to start by, because I want to enter a trade, and a trade for, like, I don't know, maybe we'll do 10 minutes, go blend, and then see how that does. So which one should I enter? I think Bitcoin is quite volatile, so that would be an interesting trade to enter, because I don't want something that is just that is not moving too much. So yeah, there's a potential to lose a lot, and there's a potential to make some, and I'm just going to use Gemini to analyze this. So let me get summarize. I'm forgetting this pairing. Summarize this. How should I enter this trade? It's BTC. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be doing trying to do this, and let me have this here. Okay, I want a summary, not a whole novel, man. God. Hey, Mustafa Said, how are you? Yeah, let's just enter a trade here and commit to a trade and go to blending. So I'm not going to overanalyze this. I'm saying that trading is basically gambling, so I'm not even going to pretend that I'm very good at this. So I'm just going to, this seems like it's going down, so let me enter around You see, I've only funded this with $15, so I'm not too worried if I lose it all. So let's see. Where are my buy buttons? No, let me wait a minute because I'm getting confused a bit. Let's first do something in Blender, and then we can take a look at the trading. All right, so we want to do something like this. Let me set up, and I think I'm going to just use EV for this. Let's use the same aspect ratio, 1080 by 1920. Which software did you use to create the environment, Blender or Unreal Engine? I know I'm going to be using Blender 1920. Okay. So let me get rid of a lot of these. Perfect. Hey, we want this just going to be a large. Let's do a really large circle and just pull this back. I'll go to the camera setting and do a bit something like 30,000. Mm, 3,000, yeah. Okay, and use auto smooth. Let's add some stars in the background, and let's add a sun first. Ray tracing. I want to add a planet in the back. And I'm just going to get our Earth night image. Yeah, something like this is enough. You want to do this in the simplest way possible. So let's, because if you try to overcomplicate things, the projects become way harder. Okay. I think this is just going to be an emission. Perfect. And the inside, you can see, also has some earth. Let me use earth texture map night. Let's use, yeah, also like this cloud, we can layer it over the earth. I think I'm going to use this. However, we're going to enter a trade. Ah, okay. Wow, if I entered here, I would have lost quite a lot of money because look at this jump here. That would have been really, really bad because I was planning to buy down, basically to predict it going down, but look at that. That would probably have wiped me out anyway. But yeah, let's save this. And I'm just going to duplicate this. We want to do this in the simplest way possible without overcomplicating things. So this is going to be a clouds layer. Do you know how to upload animation from Sketchfab to Unreal Engine? I think you have to use FBX. I haven't used Unreal Engine in a while, so yeah, it would take me a minute to remember. Anyway, so this I'm going to use. Let me add a seam here. Control E, mark seam, and then unwrap. And I want these clouds to be moving, so I'm just going to use some coordinates here. I'm just going to add, yeah, shift frame divide by 100. That's where the clouds are moving, but maybe not that fast. Yeah, something like that. And this is going to be an, I think I can use a diffuse and a transparency. No, I think I'm going to use an emission because I want the clouds to show. I need these swapped around, and for the, let me use blended. Okay, so we have that. Now we need another layer. Let me just scale this in for the clouds, and then another layer for the earth. So this is clouds layer, hide that, and this is going to be earth, and for that let me just use a planet earth texture map. Yeah, I want something let me try this. You did not use the keyframe, but it's animating. Yeah, I'm using if you type in hash, these are called drivers, and you can use them to do other things. So for example, if I wanted this to rotate, you just go to whatever property you want to animate. So let's say this, you type in hash and then frame. Basically you are setting up a driver, so whatever value you have here is going to, whatever current frame is going to be whatever the same value that we get here. So, and you, to make it slower, you just divide it by a different value, and you get that. So it's a quick way to add animation without without keyframing, and it works for any value. Okay, so we want the the earth layer. This is going to be the earth layer, and if I isolate it, it uses the earth, and for the earth we want to use anyway. Let me just get a map. Terrain map. No, that. Let's say USA. No. That's not. I'm forgetting. I want something that looks more detailed. Let's try these. Maybe these will work. I'm not very sure. So let me just save this. So this should be the earth now, and yeah, I think this would work. It's just going to be a diffuse this time, just like that, and this time let's scale things. Yeah, there is a lot of water in this map. That's why I was, you know what? I think actually I like that. For this, we don't want it to animate, so I'm just going to delete the driver. Oh, nice. Can you spell it for me? Can you spell it one more time? It's hash frame, just like that. And if you want it to be slower, you do hash frame divide by 100, or divide by, if you want it to go faster, you do hash frame times something like that, and it works everywhere. Alright, so we should have two layers now. The clouds, this should be using the clouds layer. Let me make sure I'm saving. I'll call this space station. And you can see how the planets are moving. Did this change to blended? No transparent shadows, and no transparent overlap. Perfect. And you know what? I think I might want to use an emission for this, for the colors to be visible. I think the clouds are moving too fast. Yeah. And now we need a way to add in these, to add in detail. And let me see, metal panel texture. Like I said, I want to do things quite fast. Let's do sci-fi. How long have you been doing? It's been like, I don't know, 10, 16 years, I don't remember. It's been a while. Yeah, I just want to use panels like this. I've been using Blender for quite some time. Right from Blender 2 point, was it 2.4? Yeah, I think it was 2 point something. Before Eevee, before Cycles, when the render engine was called Blender Internal. So yeah, if you never heard of that, before, I think there was no ray tracing then. The renders looked really not very good. Basically, you could say I've grown up with Blender. I want to use. Let's go with something like this, maybe for the outer. Are you working for somewhere? Yeah. Nowadays, Blender has become quite a big part of my income. That I even don't need to be working anywhere. Most of the jobs I would get would be too much stress and too much. They wouldn't be paying me enough to, I don't know, because I do YouTube. I sell add-ons. I sell 3D models. Basically, I've tried to create different sources. Okay, so I'm going to use our RAM to just change the colors to something a little bit darker. So this is just going to be a starting point for what we want to, for what we are creating. And I'm going to add, let me go back to the earth layer here. I think I should be using a diffuse. It should be diffuse instead. And we can yeah I've been doing I used to work in the advertising industry. I used to do some work, and the thing about this industry is that you could work for several companies without working directly, without being under them. So I would get brought in as an expert to do some stuff, like, I guess you could call it contract work. It's not really freelancing, because you're still under contract, and I guess it's a mix of freelancing and let's get, I want to add in these lighting setups. So let's see, light grid texture. No, that's not going to work. I think this has to be a bit scaled up. And we need to add in some of these assets. Let's see if we can get some from Sketchfab. Sketchfab, kitbash, assets. Kitbash. I wanted to enter trade around here, but this jump here kind of scared me, so I'm not sure. Trading is really just gambling. It's yeah, anyway. There's some free kitbash assets. Let me see. Yeah, I think these have some good detail. Let's see how we can use them. I'm going to grab a USD. Hey, Brav M, how are you? Hello, Midnight Studio. Glad to see you again. Yeah, today I'm streaming a bit early because I have a paddle game. Or paddle tournament today. I have to go to, so yeah, kind of wanted to get into this a bit early. Anyway, how have you been doing today? Let me do a clear parent. Do Shift G type. Get rid of. Now, okay, I'm running into an issue. Most of these are on single meshes, so I have to come in and just join them. We're trying to create something like this, which is quite ambitious, but yeah, we're going to try and do it. It's not that complicated, it's just that it takes a lot of time. You have to commit. Any particular reason why you picked USD over? Yeah. Because if you look at FBX is usually larger, and sometimes it comes zipped, so you have to unzip the file. Let me see, actually. Yeah, you can see it comes in zipped. It's a larger file, so you have to do a lot of steps. While here, if you just download USD, it's a small file, and you get basically the same thing, and you can just drag and drop directly into Blender. Let me see, this is a good collection, but most of the assets are just are not merged, so I'm forced to come in and merge. I'm not complaining, just it's a small inconvenience, but it's better than making them from scratch, because it would be too much work. Yeah, I think for now I can just use the merged one, and if I want more, I can always come back and merge more. So I'm just going to grab the merged ones and have them in a new collection, call it parts. Did you find out how to stop the rocks? No, I actually didn't. I didn't do any blending after the stream. I was, but I guess we could try this in this stream when we're done. How are you going to add the detail inside the ring? I have always wondered. Are the detail inside the ring? The details inside the. I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. It shouldn't be that hard. Alright, so maybe we can even start with the inside detail, so that some of these should look like buildings. So I'm going to create another layer. Let me call this. Let's call this buildings layer, and all we need is geometry nodes for that. Or we can even use the particle system. Yeah, let's go with the particle system to keep things simple. So here, so each here should become an object. So render collection and parts collection. And now the hard part with using the hair system is getting the right rotation. So yeah, you can already see we have detail. Is that what you're asking, Midnight? How I was going to add this in the inside? I'm not sure. You said you create add-ons and sell them. How do you do it? Will you do some coding? Yeah, you have to do some coding. Actually, yeah, I have. Let me see, Blender Market. Yeah, so this is my Blender Market page. I made this is my geometry nodes course destruction, which I've done quite a few add-ons. Yeah, this is what you meant. Yeah, that's quite easy. A particle system will do, or just using geometry nodes, but I'm going to just use the particle system because it's much faster. Like I said, the only problem is usually the orientation, getting the right orientation. No more tangents. Now you can see that their rotation is not exactly what I want. It's not the rotation I want. So you either have to go back to the objects. Yeah, you have to go back to the objects and rotate them differently. So I'm just going to select everything and let me rotate by. I can't rotate by individual. Let me just do individual origins. Rotate on the X 90 degrees and let's apply the rotation. Yeah, you can see now they are facing the right direction but inverted. So let me rotate again 180 and apply rotation, and we have detail. I'm also going to do it on the outside. Yes, I can just copy this particle system. Let me call this buildings layer 1, and I think I want this to be metallic. Let's see how it would look. And now I can give this a particle system as well, the buildings particle system. And let me make this a different layer because we want more. And let's scale these. Let's bring back the cloud layer, and the cloud layer we don't want no shadows, no transparency, no transparency overlap. So we have a transparency. Some reason I'm not seeing the inside here. Let me see. Oh, thanks. What programming language should we learn to do that? You have to learn Python. Blender uses Python for creating add-ons. It uses the Blender Python API. I'm not sure why the transparency is not. Oh, transparent shadows, yeah. But this object shouldn't, this cloud shouldn't add any shadows. But okay, Now we need some bit of lights in here, and these objects should also get some detail. It can be just doing what is the difficult of making those add-ons? Finding a good idea is usually the issue, and then programming. So these don't seem to have any textures, so let me give them an image texture. Let's see which one should we use. Yeah, let's see. I want to use metal sci-fi metal panel texture. Let's try, yeah, something like this could work. And we can use object mapping. And you can use this as the roughness as well. And I'm also going to apply their scale. And pull back. I think one of the things that makes this look really good is the lighting, so we need to really work on that. And I think we might have we have too many panels. Let's add some compositor effects to this and see. That's under compositor. I want to add a glare first. Add some bloom, and I'm going to give some of these pieces, the pieces we are scattering, some emissive parts. For example, maybe these to this here. We can give it some emissive blue light. And actually, that's not something I'm using. And this as well. Just adding in bits of lights, and you can already see the lights starting to show. Perfect. And but Amy, I discovered your channel a few weeks ago. Love it. How long have you been working with the 3D software? I used it since Blender 2.4, was it 47A? And I want to show you how that used to look like. It was a completely different program than, yeah, this is how it looked like with the worst user interface. I think most Blender artists started using Blender at 2.5 when it changed to this version here. 2.47 was I don't know, 15 years ago. I don't remember. Could even be longer than that. Yeah, random flow is great. It actually does what we're doing here, and it might have even better assets. But this asset collection is also great. It's free. I got it from Sketchfab. By the way, remember to stick around for the project files. I'll be giving them out for free if you want them. I'm trying to add in these lights. Let me increase the particle count here, maybe to something like 200. Sorry, 2000. Yeah, you can see what we're starting to get. Now, there is this. Let me work on this here, the earth, and I'm wondering if I should just do. Let me see. We can try giving it an environment. Sorry, an atmosphere. So I'm just going to let me first shade smooth. Give it a smooth look and put it about here. And push the camera back. By the way, you can either move the camera or the camera has, let me see. You can change the camera sensor, and that it's not exactly the same thing, but yeah, sometimes if you don't want to just move the camera, you can do that. And, I'm also going to add another layer of these. So I'm just going to duplicate this, but this time I'm going to get rid of the inside and outside faces and just scale this out. So, and I'm going to use less particles this time, and I don't want the emitter to show, so I'll just, so it's basically another layer. Let me change the seed. No, the seed, not the segments. And maybe even have multiple layers of and let me get my camera, give it a very wide angle. I'm trying to see what makes this. I think it's still the lighting. So let's try and match their lighting and see if we can. Let's do 5,000, but make these really small. And I'm going to change the color of these assets. Yeah, something like that. Now let's work on the environment, maybe, so that it's not. You know, I'm starting to think they didn't use EV, because their lighting looks a bit. Yeah, I think they didn't use EV for this. They must have used cycles. Let me see how this would look in cycles. Yeah, I think you can see that you get way more with cycles. The detail starts to look, starts to come out. Looks really great. Good. Thank you. But random flow gives you a square-like shape. Using textures add way more detail and is way more better. Yeah, but with if you're using textures, you don't get this level of detail. It's going to be only surface detail, unless if you're using displacement textures. Let me reduce the particle count for this and see. Yeah, I don't think they use EV. They use cycles. That's why you see if we change when we change to cycles, it started to look way better. And let me first hide this building layer and just maybe. I don't want this to have any shadows. Okay, we were working on this planet in the back. I want to add that atmosphere. So I'm just going to duplicate this, scale it up, and just give it a different material. I'll call this atmosphere. Try adding a galaxy in the background. Yeah. I think there is an AI that generates background like that. I think that's what we're going to be using to add an environment like that. Let me use layer weight mixed with transparency and an emission. Just blend these and layer weight to be our factor. I need to swap these, and we have an atmosphere. Just need a ramp. Yeah, something like that for the atmosphere. Let's look for an HDRI. Let me see, HDRI AI generator. Yeah, Skybox is a good one. Let me do. I think I have an account. Okay, let's see. Model. I need a sky model. Where is the prompt? Let's say outer space with stars, nebula, and planets in the. Let's start with that and see. Give it some time. Okay, what else could we add? One thing I'm realizing is that our version seems to have a lot of stuff, a lot of junk. So let's see, maybe reduce the particle count. Okay, this is what this has generated. This is the problem with AI. It can be quite disappointing in some areas. Maybe I selected the wrong model. Let's see. Let's realistic. Above clouds, HDRI, they don't seem to have anyways. Outer space, HDRI. I'll just find an image. Yeah, the planet has, true, it has these things. Okay, let me just give you guys the links so that you can appreciate this render quite a lot. So it has quite a lot going on. I'm wondering if there is a way to make those. Let me just try and make them. So I'm just going to duplicate this, turn it into a large sphere, and just. Okay, let me increase the viewport. Alright, so now that's too big. Maybe I want to create the same. The same thing. And let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it has started raining my side, so if you hear some noise, that's it. Hopefully it doesn't disrupt my network. Anyway, I want to see if I can get the same, create those waves there. And I'm thinking we could start like this and use an emission and a transparency. Transparency like this, but we can use some noise. Let's see if it's distorted. I'm just playing around to see if I can get something similar. And the colors, let me see, we have can I get radio coordinates here? Let me see if I have a gradient set to spherical, and that starts from the pivot point like that. So that would be maybe the X, but I want to create some radio coordinates that I could use to distort this noise. But let me see if I just add, let me see, use the same coordinates. You know, I think this could work. And let me see if I could use a vector math here. And you can see how it's distorting this. And I can use a math node to amplify the effect, and I want it to fade out. So I'll just use vector math, scale this. There's a mix color here. Yeah. Okay, so something like that, we can give this a bit of color. And I'm just going to add some noise to this, so vector math, add, and let me add some noise. I don't know why, how they did that. It could be just an HDRI image in the background. That is quite... Let's go to the bloom here, the compositor. Let me just... It's not exactly what they did, but it's a good starting point, and I think we can even rotate the noise. How do you... Let me see. Add mapping here. Yeah, you can even have this animated frame divided by 100. I just don't like how this is fading. Maybe something like that. And in EV, we need to change a few things basically. So if I'm switching to EV, let's see. This has to be blended, and this also has to be blended. Thank you, Barath. Thank you. Yeah, so I think even in EV is not that bad. I think the other thing I'm seeing is that his version is quite wide. So let's try to make it as wide as well. But let me scale things down so that we are not... I don't know why some of these are at angles. Let's see. Let's try to add something in the center, and I think he used a longer lens. Yeah, I think he used a longer lens. Let's do 5,000. Good luck with the project, man. Thanks for the knowledge you gave. Also to you, Midnight Studio. Bye. And good luck to you. Good luck to you. Thanks for being around. And yeah, see you around next time, hopefully. Oh, let me bring back my clouds. No, it's starting to look like a good space station. Though it's lacking some of the detail I want. I like the clouds. And I want this planet to also be rotating, so let me just add coordinate mappings and rotate these. Would it be on the X, on the Z? That's frame divided by 100. And maybe even make some of these layers rotate. Let's see. Yeah, so let me go to the object. That would be the Z. So hash frame divided by 150 or 130, whatever. 150. And okay, seems that these pieces are also rotating for some reason. Why would that be? Interesting, interesting. Okay, I don't think that should happen. I think the best approach is to separate these pieces. Okay. I don't like that the particles are also rotating themselves when this rotates. And these long things also shouldn't be used too much. So I would need to go to the original collection, to the parts collection, and yeah, let me make this less wide because it stands out too much. Go back to cycles. I think the way we animate our camera is also important. I'm going to use an empty as the focus of the camera so that it makes animating the camera much easier. Let me scale the camera up. Give it a track to constraint. Actually, I want the camera to be parented to an empty. That gets the track to constraint. Track this. Let's do maybe a 30. Okay, so that's going to be our starting point. And as the camera closes in, and go to EV. As the camera closes in, this target starts moving as well. So, and we want to end up looking at that. So this should also continue moving until we get to something somewhere like there. Now let's try something else. Instead of using this cloud, that doesn't look that good. I'm just going to make an actual volume cloud. So instead of using this, let's use a noise and a volume absorption. No, volume scatter. Volume scatter. So this goes in the density. Okay, let's do it in geometry nodes. And I'm going to use an attribute density for the density here. I can go to geometry nodes. Turn this into a volume. Mesh to volume. Okay, this has this. Okay, so yeah, we could use a volume, but then cycles would be slow to render. That's the issue with that. I still have, I think it's the so we start there. You know what? I'm happy with this. It shows a few. I need to bring back the earth layer, which is this. Maybe make it more visible. Adding in some emission maybe. Nah. Yeah, it needs a little bit more work, but I think I'm going to end the stream here. Yeah, for something that we did within, I don't know how long, but I'm happy with that. Especially the way we have other clouds in the background, we can maybe even add more detail. Let's see. I'm not sure why things are quite slow. I see. Let me give this a quick render and see how it looks with Eevee. And if you want to check the project file, it's going to be on my Gumroad page. On my, yeah, I'm going to add links in the description. But I think I'm going to. I thought the render was being slow, but let me see. Now I'm going to give this a render and put up the project file on. Let me get you the. The project file is going to be available for free on this page if you want to check it.